Jordan, let me ask you this question. Let
Go
me
on.
ask you this question. Have you heard of a man? A man by the name of Steve Irwin. The
No, never,
Crocodile
never,
Hunter.
never once. He's faded to the annals of history. I don't know who you're talking about.
Perhaps you know of his son, Robert. Bobby
Oh,
Irwin.
him I know. Of course I know him.
You know
Him and
his
his daughter.
you know
The daughter too. Yeah, yeah.
you know his dad, Steve Irwin. Jordan, he was a guy called the Crocodile Hunter, and he made a movie called Crocodile
Crikey.
Hunter Collision Course.
G'day, I'm Steve Irwin. You might know me as the Crocodile Hunter. Everywhere Terri and I travel in the outback, we're called on to help problem wildlife. Have a go at this whopper. Their venom is highly toxic. You're right, and things drop off. You wouldn't want to take a bite around here. Woo-hoo.
We're hoping to find some of the more unlovable of Australia's creatures.
What we've got here is the bird-eating spider. Ah! Just kidding. You never know what's out there.
At 2200 hours, the U.S. satellite was terminated over Australia.
This thing has enough documentation to change the power structure of the entire world. We'll leave first thing in the morning.
Australia.
Thank God it's a friendly country.
Did you hear that? Can only be poachers. Our job.
I like that movie.
So, okay, jumping just head first into this movie.
Be kind. I like that movie.
So number one thing, okay, I need you to understand that I have a deep nostalgic love for this movie, and all the critical things I'm about to say about this movie come from a place of love. But there will be critical things I say about this movie. It's not a very good movie, Jordan. It's
be kind.
just
Be
straight
kind,
up,
Justin.
not a very good movie. As a
breaking my
movie, it is incoherent nonsense. It doesn't even have this. Okay, the big thing is Jordan. You know how it sort of feels like Terri Irwin and Steve Irwin are in a completely different movie?
Yeah.
That's because they are, Jordan. They are in a completely different movie. So the big thing is, well, okay, I believe this to a point. I will preface this with this, but allegedly, Steve knew nothing about this movie that he was in. He didn't know anything about it when he was making. He didn't know what the script was. He didn't know what the plot was. He didn't know what it was about because they didn't.
I mean, it would make sense because all the parts with him and Bindi have absolutely nothing to go
not Bindi,
do
Terri.
with
Bindi's his
Terri,
daughter.
rather. Has nothing to do with the plot in any
No,
ways, and it's
absolutely
like
fucking not.
completely unrelated.
It's just an episode of the Crocodile Hunter. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And what's funny is I didn't notice this as a kid. I'm number one. I watched this in theaters for some reason. I remember watching this. I remember watching this in Richmond Center. Like I remember watching this at Richmond Center, because we had family who were really into the Crocodile Hunter for some reason.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
They really were.
they took us to watch this, but the thing I didn't notice is all of the sections with Steve Irwin and his wife Terri Irwin are all in a different aspect ratio. They're all in a
It's in the TV. They're in the TV aspect.
It's in the TV aspect ratio, and when they're showing you movie stuff, it's the movie aspect ratio. And when the characters from the movie enter Steve Irwin's world, it remains in the Steve Irwin aspect ratio.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I know, which is really
notice
funny.
that.
That's a really funny joke that you wouldn't notice if you're not a movie nerd. You would not notice that. But like the bit about him not knowing what movie he's in because the whole like inciting incident of this is a crocodile accidentally eats a CIA beacon, and the movie is the CIA is trying to get this beacon which contains information that could change the world from this crocodile, all while also there's a farmer and Boromir from Lord of the Rings. I'm not kidding. It's the actor who plays Boromir. It drove me crazy the whole movie. He's apparently Australian. Go figure.
That's funny.
He's in this as a cop, and he's trying to like get this farmer to not shoot and kill this croc who has eaten this beacon. And there's a bit at the end.
The beacon, and it keeps harassing her farm creatures
Yeah,
too.
it
Which
keeps
is
trying
why
to
she's so pissed off at her.
It keeps trying to eat her cows or whatever. Yeah, and so there's a bit at the end where
it's on my land. I'm gonna turn it into a pair of boots.
There's a bit at the end where the storylines intersect, and Steve Irwin thinks that the CIA agents are poachers.
Poachers.
And when they say that he doesn't know what the plot of this movie is, I don't believe him, or I don't believe this anecdote, because there's a huge section where he's fist fighting a guy on top of a truck.
Haven't they got a cheek? Steady, mate. This bloke's off the Richter scale. Whoa, crikey. Lucky my wife's such a good driver. You've been upsetting my crocs, mate. They never know when to let go, do they? Gorgeous. This is where your journey ends, mate. Danger, danger, danger. See ya.
While saying one-liners that are exceptionally funny and random. And like I can't. It's hard to tell if it's him or a stunt double. Like that's how like all right some of these shots are. When I'm like, he had to know what he was doing because he's fist fighting this guy on top of a moving vehicle. Like he has to know he's in an action movie, right?
I fully believe that he knew that he was in a movie. I also believe that he maybe didn't know what the movie was.
Maybe,
but like
maybe.
he had to have known he was in a movie.
I guess,
unless he thought that it was like for the show.
No, he knew. I guess he knew he was in a movie. But I guess my point is like, you think he got to the point where he's doing the big fight on top of the truck and he still didn't know the plot of the movie? Like I just feel like he would have had to by that point. No, like I believe.
No, not necessarily. They might have only told him that, like, oh, we need, like, again, if he doesn't know what movie he's in, but he knows that he's going to be in a scene of a movie, really depends on what they told him.
I guess.
Like if they're like, we need you to be in one scene, you're going to be fighting on top of a thing, but like they don't give him any details.
I guess because the idea was they didn't want him.
But like,
knowing
no,
anything.
There's no way that he's completely in the dark about the fact that he's in a movie.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there's no way he didn't know what the. At least I don't believe the anecdote that he didn't know what the. I
could believe that.
I just don't. But they say
knowing nowadays how like what they do with like the extents they'll go to for like Marvel movies where people don't know. No, I believe that he might not have known.
They said that for the Crocodile Hunter portions where it's just. I believe then he didn't know what it was, but by the time he's doing the action sequence, no, he knows what it's about. But there's no way he doesn't. But there's all the bits. Apparently they shot like what, so a lot of it just feels like they just followed them around with a camera and just filmed them, which they did. Like apparently like there's like hundreds of hours of them just doing of them interacting with animals, and they selected certain ones. But the movie's hilarious because it will just come to a grinding halt. Like they're doing like it's like 20 minutes in, and he's there's a big long sequence of him interacting with
I think it was a snake.
Well, no, initially he runs into a joey. They save a joey, and then he runs into multiple snakes actually. But there's a bit where the plot has finally kicked in. They've done a bunch of exposition with the CIA guy. Feels like the plot's finally getting going, and then it comes to a grinding halt because Steve finds a snake on the side of the road.
Everything okay?
I lost it again. Thanks. Either it's damaged or it's in the river. Submersion in water would affect the transmission of the signal.
Well, the inflatable on top has got a decent outboard motor. And I also packed a depth finder and an underwater scanner, so if we end up fishing for it, we should be covered.
You Aussies think of everything, don't you? What'd you bring to protect us from alligators?
Crocodiles in this country.
Same thing.
Hardly. You'll know it if you meet a croc.
It's back.
Snake! Have a go at this whopper! Woo-hoo-hoo! This is a king bait!
And then there's just an extra long 2 to 3 minute scene of him like dancing with. It's a wonder that man didn't. Not to be insensitive, but there's a wonder that man didn't die sooner. Because like he sure died the way he lived, fucking with animals. Because like
fucking around and finding out.
But it's funny to watch. Like a lot of these movies are funny to watch because they start to become bothersome when you know about animals. But I had a theory because I'm like he is sort of in a way partially responsible for people's negative perception of snakes. And arguably, because he kept presenting them as being more dangerous than they were. Like, there's points in this scene in this movie where he's like holding the snake out of reach so it can't get him, and the snake is trying to get away. Like, you could tell that if you had just walked up on the snake, it would just run away. Like a snake is never going to out and out attack you out of aggression, because that's just not how snakes work. Like snakes
Depends
don't
on the snake, but generally speaking, yeah.
Snakes don't go after anything that are bigger than them. That's just how they work. So a snake is never gonna. It will fight if you corner it. Like if you lift up a rock and had nowhere to go, it would strike you. But the only times a snake will like legit attempt to strike you is if it thinks you're food. So like, but I had that thought. I'm like, oh, Steve Irwin was so smart and so empathetic. He did that on purpose. Like at least this is I cannot say this without confirming it, not knowing him. But my theory is he did that on purpose. He did that danger, because he says a lot of shit about crocs and their aggression, which I believe to a degree is true. But a croc will never go out of its way to attack you. Like not really. That's just not how crocs work. I've learned.
Yeah, it depends on the scenario.
It's just not how crocs work. They're ambush predators. They're ambush
right,
predators.
So that's where I'm like, if you're in the middle of the water and they think it can,
it might bite you, but it's not going to try to eat you. Much like a shark, it'll bite you. It'll do a death roll, and it'll probably kill you, but it won't try to eat you because you're just too big. You're too big to ingest, and it won't sit there and try to chew you because that's not how crocs work. Crocs want something that they can eat all at once. But he did that on purpose. At least I believe he did. Same thing with snakes. He did that so you wouldn't walk up after watching a show and fuck with them and try to be like him. Like, that's why he did that. I fully believe that he did that so you would leave well enough alone. That you could observe these things from the home of your living room, enjoy them with him. But he's so charming. The other thing I picked up from this, my boy Steve liked dirty jokes. Like, he makes he sneaks by so many dirty jokes in this that you don't even notice are there. Like, there's one point where he's dangling the snake, and the snake wheels back and tries to get him in the groin, and he's like, can you imagine if it got me right there? There's a point where they rescue the croc, and they get the croc in the boat. And they're both exhausted and they're laying down, and he has a face on his look on his face that's like better than sex, and he smacks Terri in the ass, and he goes, "Atta girl."
Too easy, mate.
That's so funny, but I like. There's so many the parts of this that there's not a ton of information I could find on the behind the scenes of this. But I know that they didn't have him learn lines because there's a bit at the end where they're having him read the final narration of what happened to all the characters in the movie. And there's a bunch of outtakes of him struggling through it. He just can't do it. And the final outtake is did I do it? Yes! So I fully believe that they didn't have him memorize lines. Terri in particular, she has moments where she's trying to do line reads and they're all awful. Like, you're like, oh, stick to your day job of running a zoo. Like, don't pursue an acting career. But
unless it's a reality TV.
Yeah, unless it's on reality television, exactly. Stick to reality TV. But yeah, it's a very strange. But my ultimate point is, they should make a sequel. They should make a second one. They should make a sequel, and they should have Robert Irwin be in it. Because I had that thought when I was watching. Who's more famous, Bindi or Robert? Jake said Robert.
I would say Robert because he's more the face.
Right?
He's more the face, and B, he has the unfortunate, however you want to look at it. He's the son
Yeah.
So he's gonna look more like the dad.
Here's what I would say. I would say because Jake said
I'm not
something similar.
wrong.
The twins said Robert. I don't disagree with you, but the twins said Robert. And Jake said at one point it was Bindi. Bindi was more famous. She was more well known. And then as Robert got older and he became an adult, she kind of stepped back a little bit from the limelight to be more of a family person. He became more famous. So I would say it's fairly. The reason why I ask is because initially I was like, do a sequel, have Robert be the star, and have him because he can act. Have it be give it a bit more of a narrative and don't do it quite that where he's half of the movie is just an episode of and give him and do like a sequel and have it be a tribute to his dad, and then maybe you can have Bindi be in there as like a cameo or something, and the mom's in there as a cameo.
I absolutely want that, but I'm also, and I'm just saying it, biopic where he plays his dad.
I mean, I'm down for a biopic where he plays his dad, but I want a straight sequel.
I'm saying both.
Oh, both.
I want both.
I'd be down for both. I mean, okay, I don't know that I'd want Robert to play Steve, but I'm totally with you on a biopic about Steve Irwin. Like just generally. That's a good idea, and I'm down for that. And I do think he's enough of a character that you could, just like I think they should do a Bob Ross biopic. You absolutely could, and would totally work. But no, I want it like I do kind of want to do where they do a second one, but I don't know. He's not popular in the way that because this movie is such an anomaly. Like nobody really realized just how popular of a personality and a character and a show the Crocodile Hunter was, and I just don't think that I'm up two minds.
Because we came from a time. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I do think he is popular enough that you could do a movie based. Like
I think he's getting there.
I just don't know if it's in the same way though, and I don't know. I'm not as. I do think they should make it, and I would totally watch it. And I think he is popular enough and famous enough that you could do a sequel to this and have it maintain the same spirit and have half of it be just an episode of Crikey, It's the Irwins. I do think that's funny. I do think that's possible. I do think you could do it, and I do think it would work. But also, something a bit more narrative heavy where he gets to be a bit more involved in the narrative portions of it also would be fun. But yes, make a sequel to this, but Robert Irwin as the star. And have Bindi either be a secondary character or like a cameo, and the mom's a cameo. Also include the husband as well. I think it'd be fun. I think you could totally sell it.
I don't know. I would need to see it.
But don't get me wrong. Just to wrap up, don't get me wrong. This is not a good movie.
I think you would have an easier time doing a Steve Irwin biopic than you would.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. There's no way you're not gonna. That's my dream. You're not selling a. No executive is gonna fund a sequel to a movie that I'm pretty sure bombed. I'm almost entirely sure didn't do very well. But I watched it in theaters. I definitely remember watching it in theaters. Yeah, no, it's not. Don't get me wrong. None of the all of the story acting is just not very. Oh, that was the other bit I wanted to say. The farmer in this, I don't have sympathy for her because stop putting your cows near the edge of the water. Crocs don't come on to land. Because at the end she's like, well, if it comes on to land and attacks me animals, then we'll have a real problem. And I'm like, but that is not how crocs work. They are ambush predators they're very slow. They can move at a speed. There's an episode of fucking MythBusters that I'm gonna end up putting another clip of MythBusters in my video again. But there's an episode of MythBusters where they attempted to test the myth where you can run away from a croc by zigzagging, and they couldn't get the crocs to chase them. Yeah. They couldn't get the crocs to chase them because crocs attack in water. They don't attack on land because they're slow.
Crocs are lazy.
Yeah, exactly. They'll do one big burst of energy and attack you, and then that's kind of it. They won't try again because that's just not how they work.
Of course, there's always extraneous circumstances and things that are outside the norm, but the norm is that they're very lazy.
Yeah, just don't stand on the edge of the water, and then it won't get you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Usually, by the time it's out of the water, it's slowly trudging. It's if you've ever watched Robert Irwin or any one of those guys do a croc show at the Australian Zoo, you know that they'll slowly, they have ample time to move out of the way of the thing as it slowly drags itself onto the land. That's it. That's Crocodile Hunter Collision Course. Delightful.
Delightful.
Hey there, everybody. It's Endcard Justin here. What do you think? You think we should make a sequel to Crocodile Hunter Collision Course, or are you way more down for a Steve Irwin biopic? What's your flavor? What are you thinking? Let me know down in the comments down below. But in the meantime, if you'd like to see the full podcast, this is from our Nature and Stuff episode, you click the box on the left. Or if you just want to see a random video that YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy, click the box on the right. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. We put new videos out 7 days a week. Or you can just leave this video a like. That helps us out too. We'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day, everybody.